If there was one thing you'd tell Uraraka, I think we'd all agree. We'd all tell her,
"It's a trap!"
What's up? It's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. So, Boku no Hero Academia chapter 288 of the manga. We'll discuss everything from this fabulous chapter, from Gigantomachia's destruction to the beginning of this epic Toga vs Uraraka fight. And, is Best Jeanist back? Let's dive in. The chapter opens with a helicopter view of the city and heroes springing into action to stop Gigantomachia, who is just destroying everything in his path. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Before we talk about Machia, which there's a lot to discuss, look at this helicopter. The pilot is turned around saying, "We're 5 minutes out. Please don't move, it's not safe. Your body isn't fully ready yet," as she's talking to an unknown figure. If you notice, there are these wound up steel fiber cables inside the helicopter. And what hero can manipulate any thread or fiber? That's right, Best Jeanist. Now, I'm not sure how an injured Best Jeanist survived Hawks' attack and got out of the bag, if in fact it was him and if in fact Hawks actually attacked him. But if you read My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Best Jeanist is shown multiple times manipulating the same type of steel cables. It looks to me like Best Jeanist is about to use these steel cables to subdue Gigantomachia. Now, although Machia is uber strong like we've seen, he did struggle to break out of Sero's tape and Minetta's balls. So perhaps with the heroes on the ground and Best Jeanist's expertise in these steel cables, because he's done some great things with them in Vigilantes, I have a good feeling about this. I think they can subdue Gigantomachia. I'm very excited for this possibility. Plus, Bakugo wanted to tell Best Jeanist his hero name before anyone else. However, he just told Deku, "You know my hero name, you've actually known it for quite a while." And now that Bakugo is injured, and then Best Jeanist potentially has suddenly reappeared again, this might be Bakugo's only chance to tell his mentor his true hero name. I'm excited for the fact that Best Jeanist could subdue Gigantomachia, but let's not forget he's still injured, and maybe by the end of this fight, Best Jeanist will no longer be a hero. So for Bakugo and Best Jeanist, it's now or never. Comment your thoughts down below. Will Bakugo finally be able to tell Best Jeanist his hero name? And is this in fact the Levi's man himself, Best Jeanist? Back to the guy they need to stop, Machia. Two things here. One, check out the claws on this dude. Nice touch, Horikoshi. And two, I just feel bad for these pro heroes. They don't stand a chance against Machia. And I know that they're not the best of the best. You know, it's not Endeavor, it's not, Hawks, who is indisposed at the moment. It's not Miruko. It's not any of the UA students who are arguably better than the pros. But you just feel that these heroes don't have a chance against Machia. Unless Best Jeanist were to show up. Gigantomachia is currently tearing up Nabato City at 100 kilometers per hour. I'm American, so we use miles here, but I looked it up. That's highway speeds. We cut to the League of Villains with Skeptic and Mr. Compressed looking at a satellite video feed of heroes approaching. They comment that you still have to be cautious of heroes even if we have Machia. And I agree with this, it's correct. The heroes can still pursue villains and the League of Villain members even though Machia is the greater threat. And seeing how these heroes aren't really doing much against Machia, they might do just that. This also might be some foreshadowing for our two heroes, Uravity and Froppy, against a certain League of Villain member. Speaking of these two, they're rushing through the city seeing what they can do against Machia when they catch the eye of everyone's favorite crazy waifu, Toga. When Toga reacts to Uraraka, she tells Mr. Compressed to take out the equipment, and then Mr. Compressed says, whoa, don't come so close too quickly, and she makes him drop one of his marbles. Now, the first question is, does Toga then have this? Because she's seen adjusting something on her leg, like the knife pouch. But if she doesn't, what is it? Can she use this in battle? And we know that Mr. Compressed had stored up debris inside these marbles because he launched one at midnight. Maybe it's just that. Or maybe this is important and Toga actually just caused him to lose one of his valuable battle items. Just yet another interesting subplot in this chapter. Mr. Compress and the other League of Villain members seem very hesitant to let Toga pursue Uraraka and Tsuyu at first. Even Spinner says, "You're not the only one who has resentment for what happened to Twice." But when hearing her reasoning concerning Twice, they oblige and let her go off on this adventure. Uraraka and Tsuyu arrive on the scene of Gigantomachia's destruction, and they think, how is it possible that we can take on this guy? Well, they can't, so they settle to evacuate every person they possibly can and just try desperately to get everyone out of harm's way. I love how efficient and heroic these two are here, pulling everyone in sight to safety, getting people out of their homes. Yes, we knew they were good from the Chisaki ordeal and with Ryuku, but still, Ochako and Tsuyu for the win. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. This includes an old lady's husband who is sleeping. Hold up. You mean to tell me that while Gigantomachia is creating earthquakes with every step and buildings are exploding in his path, this old dude just taking a nap? Nope. No way. I don't believe that for a second. I mean, if someone's in danger, or they could be, you gotta try and help them, right? Uraraka agrees to help him and follows this old lady who runs pretty fast. She's pretty nimble for her old age, as she turns corners and then transforms back into Himiko Toga. We all knew it. It's a trap.
It's a trap!
Ochako immediately follows Toga into this vacant house, and I don't know if I would have done that. I think I would have been a little more cautious. But I do agree with Uraraka's approach. I think we all know that Toga is very dangerous, and she does need to be stopped. We then see crazy waifu Toga ambush Uraraka, pinning her to the ground with a knife, and Uraraka, Deku's waifu, struggling to defend herself against Toga's blade. Isn't this just the best? The person who uses knives and is crazy versus the person who is trained with heroes to learn martial arts and defend herself against attacks like this? Best crazy girl versus best stable girl. What more could you want? Also, side note, this whole scene with Uraraka in this darkened apartment turning and listening for Toga while she's saying that she's cute is gonna be animated so well. I love scenes that go from action, Toga revealing herself and running into this house, to calm and suspenseful with Uraraka trying to make her way through the darkness, and then climactic action once again when Toga leaps out and ambushes Uraraka. Toga asks Uraraka, "What will you do to me?" And Ochako is very mad because she knows Toga just hurt or even killed this old lady just to do this transformation. She says, "I will help as many people as I can, and if you interfere, Himiko, I will capture you right here, right now." And I don't think Toga likes that answer. If you somehow still had sympathy for Toga, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't anymore. She just hurt and killed an old lady just to get blood and transform to trick Uraraka just to ask her this question. It's a pretty low thing to do. Now, we were thinking that depending on Uraraka's answer, and maybe in the future Deku's answer, that Toga might reconsider her actions and reconsider what it means to be in this hero society and maybe a member of the League of Villains. But now I think it's clear more than ever that Toga has shown us she can't really be anything more than a villain. She can't change, and Uraraka and the heroes must stop her. The only thing that might change Toga's actions a little bit is the fact that she thinks Uraraka is cute. She also thinks Tsuyu-chan is cute, which actually might come into play during this fight, but she said that she wants to be like Uraraka. She might not want to be this crazy person who likes to drink people's blood, and we know that she has sort of a tragic backstory in that her quirk makes her desire to have blood. So maybe she just wants to be like Uraraka, and she might change her ways to model herself after her favorite girl instead of just being a villain. It's also no secret that she admires Uraraka because she seems to have Deku's attention, who Toga really likes, even if Deku is a stereotypical shonen character who is oblivious to women's feelings. Might Toga change her ways to be like Uraraka, not the hero and righteous person, but rather the feminine girl who can attract such a great specimen as Deku? Speaking of becoming Uraraka, does Toga still have some of Ochako's blood like she used in the Curious fight? I mean, she could just get some right now, and she probably will with that knife. I don't see Uraraka walking out of this fight without any injuries, but if Toga is able to use Uraraka's blood against her, then it would be Ochako versus Ochako, and whoever can touch the other person first and use their quirk could float them away, but then you could just touch yourself and make yourself have weight again. Wow, this could be a huge stalemate. This fight could also bring up parallels to the Curious fight if Uraraka is able to touch Toga and float her up in the air while avoiding Toga's knife slashes. Then this would be the last straw for Himiko Toga to try and make an effort to be a good person. Uraraka would hold Toga's life in her hands as she's floating here, and it would be up to Uraraka to decide what type of person she is going to be. What type of hero is she going to be? Is she going to be like Hawks, who held twice his life in his hands and decided that there was nothing he could do for him? Or will Uraraka actually save Toga? Regardless of all this, it's going to be a great moment for the two of these characters, and I can just tell how this arc is gone. One of them won't be walking away from this fight being able to fight or practically even move, and the other, the victor, probably won't be able to do much either. Another question is, will Tsuyu, Froppy get in on this fight? I do not think it was a coincidence that these two heroes were working together in the same area, and then all of a sudden Toga appears and goes after one of them. Flashbacks, anyone? Maybe Froppy can get revenge for Toga cutting her tongue back in the Forest Training Camp arc, although she's not really the one to take out revenge, but maybe she will help Uraraka in this fight. However, now that Toga's quirk has awakened and it's manifested itself, and we know that she can use quirks of the people whose blood she has, it might take two heroes to capture her. And I know a lot of people want to see a one-on-one fight, like this is, Katara versus Azula. We want to see Ochako versus Himiko, the final battle between the two waifus, who has progressed, who has not. Will Ochako own this as a hero? But I'm okay with Tsuyu helping out in this fight, because she kind of did in the last one, but then was sort of pinned to a tree and didn't really do much. I'm okay with that as long as we see that Ochako has grown as a hero, and Toga, we've obviously seen she's grown as a villain. So I'm okay as long as we get some nice character progression. But what do you guys think? Do you want anyone else involved in this fight besides Toga and Ochako? But let me know what you guys think. What will happen in Ochako vs Himiko? Will Tsuyu help out in this fight? And in the next few chapters, are we going to get to see Best Jeanist? I look forward to reading your comments down below. If you like My Hero Academia content and these chapter reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. Until next time, hero or villain, plus ultra.